Hi there, it's Connor Dixon. Today's JSA, or Job Safety Analysis, is going to be going over how to put this bucket onto that tractor. So for starters, we have to get onto the tractor. So, as you can see, we have 2 steps, a handrail, and the steering wheel is a pretty good handhold. So, you have to maintain 3 points of contact, so I can't actually hold on to the phone whilst I'm getting up. But you have to watch out for your tripping hazard there, because once you get up there, that's 3 foot of elevation, and if you fall backwards, it wouldn't be too fun. And if you fall forwards, you could, hit the controls or break something. So get onto the seat of the tractor, which is right there. Now that you're onto the seat of the tractor, you're going to start it. So, starters, you want to make sure that it's out of gear. That's good. And this is a smart shift, so that's forward, that's reverse. There's neutral. And you want to make sure your parking brake's on. We're good. So, now you're going to press in the clutch, turn your key. So for this part of the video, the tractor would be running, but you can't really hear me over the tractor, so I'm going to do it with it off. So at this point, you have your tractor running and you want to move towards that bucket. So what you'd want to do is push your clutch in, press in your brake. You're going to want to disengage the parking brake. You're going to want to put it into gear, and then you're going to want to put it into forward. Now you make sure your throttle is all the way down. You're going to slowly depress the clutch, let your brake out, and at this point you'd be moving forward, but since the tractor's off, you're not going to do that. When moving the tractor, you want to remain aware of your surroundings. At any point, you could run into something. The tractor is a big piece of heavy equipment that can do a lot of damage. You also want to make sure you're planted firmly in your seat. There's not a lot of protection for the driver if they were to fall off and the tractor was still moving. That would definitely be a serious injury or a cause of death, so you have to be careful about that. Also remain aware of all your surroundings. You don't want to be hitting any of your controls while you're moving the tractor, so get yourself acquainted with the piece of equipment before really doing any work with it. Now you have your tractor running, you're going to drive it within 5 feet of the bucket. So once you stop your tractor, you want to dismount. Again, maintain 3 points of contact so you don't fall and injure yourself. Then you're going to come to the front of the tractor, make sure the mating surfaces are all good here. Everything looks clean. Now, as you can see here, this little pin is out. It needs to be in to put the bucket on. So we're going to go up here, and this here lever needs to be in that position. Now you want to be careful when you're putting that in. You could pinch yourself on there, and that's no fun. Not a serious injury, but it could draw blood. So you want to take your time when you're doing that. You're going to want to look over the bucket and make sure there's nothing built up in any of the mating surfaces, because if you try to put it in, there's something in the way, it might not hook up properly, and that could lead to an accident. So once you're back on the tractor, you're going to want to take your loader control here, push it to the right, which is going to rotate that front plate we were looking at down towards the ground. You're going to want to do that till it's facing probably 45 degrees away from you. This is what the front plate should roughly look like when you're coming to mate up to the bucket. So instead of on a 90, it's on a 45. And then you're going to want to lower those arms. Now they're already down, but if you had to put them down, you just push this forward and it would push the arms down. After that, you're going to drive forward, then pull back up. So I've gone off the tractor just to show what it should look like. So when you pull up, these 2 hooks should be over top of that bar, and at the time, this lever is still going to be in this position. From up on the cab, if you stand up, you can see those 2 orange little lines. Those are where the hooks are, and you can actually see there's a little box there. That should be almost center with the front of the loader, and that means you're lined up and you're able to pull up. So at this point, now you have the hooks in place. Pull it to the left, which is going to rotate that plate back up. Once you have that bottomed out, you'll hear the difference in the motor and it'll stop moving. Then you're going to want to pull the lever back, pull the arms up, and then once you pull it a couple of feet off the ground, you're going to notice that this here lever has dropped back over, meaning that these pins, you can't really see it on the camera, but the pins have now locked in place so the bucket can't rotate and is locked on there. Make sure it's locked in place, because if it's not, it could fall off at any time when you're working, and anyone underneath or nearby could be injured or killed, so you have to be aware of that. Now you're ready to go move around. That's another JSA though, but that's how you get your bucket onto your loader tractor.